What's your part?
Yeah, okay. The show today is titled the UFO. I mean, the wheel. Excuse me, the mother plane, and what the government calls UFOs. But the number one reason I came up with why the devil calls them UFOs is because they really have identified
Right.
what that is. So then, for 73 years, they've known that this plane has existed, but they've called it UFO to make you think it's unidentified. So when
Right.
you look up there, many people have seen it.
Right.
So when you look up there, you think it's unidentified flying object, but they have identified it, so it's really an IFO, identified flying object. We're going to tell you what that is. You should read Ezekiel chapter 1 through 3 in the Bible, because this man had a vision of this wheel 2,500 years ago. And Minister Mike's going to read something Elijah Muhammad says about Ezekiel, and Minister Farrakhan's going to bring up something about Ezekiel. I was thinking how the situation in the world today, how Bush is scaring everybody. When he did this, was going over to Iraq, the UN was against it.
Right.
170 countries said they weren't with this,
Right.
but he still did it anyway. Then you see the UN's kind of working with him or something still, and nobody's speaking out. Everybody's scared of George Bush because they know that physical power he represents is the greatest power in the earth.
Right.
So they think.
Right.
But we're here to tell you there's a greater power than George Bush that makes George Bush look like nothing in a sense. But that's why I believe everybody's scared, because they don't recognize that God is physical and he has a power that's greater than anybody else's power. For the Muslims, Prophet Muhammad said that the devil in the end time, I believe, he said the devil would shoot arrows at Allah. And most Muslims I know, I mean, not that I know, but I mean that don't follow in the Nation of Islam, believe that Allah's like unseen. He doesn't exist. He's not physical. But yet Prophet Muhammad said the devil would shoot arrows at Allah. So what's he shooting arrows at? It has to be something physical that he sees and recognizes. The devil recognizes that's Allah. So what is that? We believe that's the will. Prophet Muhammad also said that when the Mahdi comes back, and all Muslims believe the Mahdi is coming back, he will set justice in the earth. Now, if George Bush is running the whole earth with injustice, how the hell is somebody going to set justice in the earth unless that power is represented physically greater than the power of George Bush? It's on that wheel. They came out with movies, Independence Day,
Right.
The Arrival, Mars Attacks. So, they came up with these movies just to throw you off, to once again think that it's a Martian or something like that that's coming to kill you when it's really God coming to save you. My experience seeing one of these planes, you can take it or leave it. I just couldn't explain what I saw. But back in 1999, my little brother and I were coming home one night, and it was like 10 o'clock at night. And we looked to our right, and it was way off in the distance. It looked like a fire sparked or something in the sky, like a little piece of fire is the best way I can describe it. And then it looked like it fell off a shelf, just fell, but then it started going like this, back and forth, until it went out of sight. Now, we both looked at each other like, what the hell was that? And we couldn't explain it. And I remember I talked to this brother who's seen some of these planes, but he didn't know what I just said to him. But then he said, yeah, they're patterns like a fallen leaf. And I got like a head rush, because that's exactly what I saw, was this. And he told me that's their flight patterns. Now, I don't know if that was the baby plane or not. Like, I know they exist, and I have all the faith in the universe that they do exist, but I just wanted to share that with you. But I'm going to pass it back to Michael X, and he's going to read something out of Message to Black Men that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said.
Yeah, this is basically from the book Message to the Black Man by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and it's on page 290 and 291. And it's titled, Battle in the Sky is Near. The vision of Ezekiel's wheel in the sky is true if carefully understood. There is a similar wheel in the sky today which very well answered the description of Ezekiel's vision. The wheel corresponds in a way with the spear of spears called the universe. The maker of the universe is Allah, God. The father of the black nation would include the brown, yellow, and red people. The great wheel which many of us see in the sky today is not so much a wheel as one may think in such terms, but rather a place made like a wheel. The like of this wheel-like plane was never seen before. You cannot build one like it and get the same results. Your brains are limited. If you would make one to look like it, you could not get it up off the earth into outer space. The similar Ezekiel's wheel is a masterpiece of mechanics. Maybe I should not say the wheel is similar to Ezekiel's vision of a wheel, but that Ezekiel's vision has become a reality. His vision of the wheel included hints of the great wisdom of Almighty God Allah, that really He is the maker of the universe and reveals just where and how the decisive battle would take place in the sky. When guns and shells took the place of the sword, man's best defense against such weapons was a trench, a ditch. Poison gas and liquid fire brought him out. Today he has left the surface for the sky to destroy his enemy by dropping and exploding bombs on each other. All this was known in the days of Ezekiel, and God revealed it to him that through Ezekiel we might know what to expect at the end of the world. The originator and his people, the original black people, are supremely wise. Today we see the white race preparing for the sky battle to determine who shall remain and rule this earth, black or white. In the battle between God and the disbelievers in the days of Noah, the victor's weapon was water. He used fire in the case of Sodom and Gomorrah. In the battle against Pharaoh, he used 10 different weapons, which included fire and water, hailstones, and great armies of the insect world, and droughts, and finally plagued them with death. The Holy Quran says the chastisement of Pharaoh was like that which God would use against his enemies in the last days. Throughout the Bible and the Holy Quran teachings of the judgment and the destruction of the enemies, fire will be used as the last weapon. The earth's greatest arms are fire and water. The whole of its atmosphere is made up of fire and water and gases. It serves as a protected coat of arms against any falling fragments from her neighbors. Ezekiel saw wheels in the middle of a wheel. This is true. The universe in the universe, it is made up of revolving spheres. There are wheels in the wheel. The present wheel-shaped plane, known as the mother of planes, is 1/2 mile of a half mile, and is the largest mechanical man-made object in the sky. It is a small human planet made for the purpose of destroying the present world of the enemies of Allah. The cost to build such a plane is staggering. The finest brains were used to build it. It is capable of staying in outer space 6 to 12 months at a time without coming into the Earth's gravity. It carried 1,500 bombing planes with most deadliest explosions, the type used in bringing up mountains on the Earth. The very same method is to be used in the destruction of this world. The bombs are equipped with motors, and the toughest of steel was used in making them. This steel drills and takes the bombs into the earth at a depth of 1 mile, and is timed not to explode until it reaches 1 mile into the earth. This explosion produces a mountain 1 mile high. Not one bomb will fall into water. They will all fall on cities. As Ezekiel saw and heard in his vision of it, chapter 10, verse 2, the plane is terrible. It is seen, but do not think of trying to attack it. That would be suicide. The small circular made planes called flying saucers, which are so much talked of being seen, could be from this mother plane. This is only one of the things in store for the white man's evil world. Believe it or believe it not. This is to warn you and me to fly to our own God and people. So basically that's from Message to the Black Man, page 290, 291.